Alright guys, doing another update on the Springfield XD 9mm. And I'm just kidding, because you guys are tired of hearing me talk about the same crap with that. What we're really doing is doing a review on this Jake Hoback Custom A10. And to sum it up, it is fantastic. My new favorite knife. This thing is a dream. I love it more every day. Alright, I'm going to jump right into it because this is the second video. The first one went 22 full minutes, and I don't think I rambled too much. So, let's get this underway. I'm going to do another one, and I'm just going to upload whichever one I like better. So, without further ado, like I said before, this is a Jake Hoback Custom A10. The A10 means the A10 is a designation for this handle shape and this blade length, which is 3.25 inches. It is on thrust bearings, which I'll go into detail later, but it opens fantastic. Let's get some of the materials out of the way. Obviously, titanium handles that are sandblasted and tumbled. Same with the blade, sandblasted and tumbled. The titanium handles are 1.87 millimeters thick. No, sorry, stupid. 1.87 inches thick. And the blade is 1.4 inches thick. So, decently thick handles and a good thickness blade. Not gonna be the thickest thing you come across, but don't need it to be. I think that's about a 4 mil blade, right around there. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And maybe these are 5 mil handles. Let's see. The ergos on this knife are A++. I mean, one of the highest. If you can give a higher rating, I would. I haven't come across a knife that the ergos are better than this, really. Right up there with a Darrow, right up there with a Hinderer. I would assume a Una, never handled it, but think of it, guys. Picture a Una knife and a Hinderer, and just blend them together, and I really think that's what this is. Absolutely fantastic looking. I love it. Good industrial look. It just wants to be used. That's how it looks to me, and I've been using it for about a month now. And it looks like the same I got it. The only maintenance it really takes is once you cut cardboard or something with ink or could stain. Because the blade's sandblasted, it's a little textured, it will stay on the blade, and you just gotta wipe it down with some oil or sweat or spit, whatever. Carter probably washes it down with some blood of his enemies, right, buddy? Alright, since I got that out of the way, let's go about the handle. Two things that really set this knife apart, to me, over other knives, is the handle ergonomics and the lockup. Talk about the handle first. You got the double finger choil here, and then because it's got a real organic shape, curved downwards, fills the hand well. But this part, the bottom of the handle is, if this was a straight, if this handle was a straight line, it would come to here, and your fingers would have to kind of curl in more. But since it kicks it out, real easy to get a good purchase. Nothing fancy a word. What? Real easy to get a good purchase down there, and you get a lot of grip from your bottom two fingers, surprisingly. And then you throw this in, and it's just absolutely fantastic. I'm going to say absolutely a lot, because this knife is, no questions about it, amazing. Let's go on the handle. The way it's shaped, with the ergos of it, the double finger choil, and the flipper, it puts your thumb in a forward position, which I really like. And it allows your thumb to be positioned above the blade, which I really like. I feel like that gives you more control and a little more power. I really like this positioning. I'm not a fan of knives that put your thumb back here, whether because of the jimping or the ramp or something or other. I feel cramped like this. I feel like I can stretch out and get an amazingly comfortable grip on here. Alright, this X pattern on the handle is one of the custom things you could choose from. With this A10, he does almost anything you ask. But I like this custom X pattern, and I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's not perfect, but it's darn good, and I feel like it goes with this industrial pattern, with this industrial feel. Almost the fact that it's not perfect and it's such an aggressive tumble on this sandblasted frame, it's just asking to be used and beat, and it hides wear well. This gives you a lot of grip in any direction. You know, you can go up and down on this, front and back, because it's on a diagonal. Fantastic. I was afraid that this was going to be too sharp, but pleasant surprise, it's really not. It blends in great. An awesome thing about dealing with a custom knife maker is I was afraid of how sharp the center was going to be. So on the locks, or on the pocket clip side, I asked him to leave some material. And you could see he did. I used a big word in the last video, and I was really proud of myself. I was like, oh, Jay Davis would love that. He'd be so proud of me. But he listened to me. I feel like such an idiot. He paid attention to my requests, honored my request. Let's go with that. And you can see the pattern's just a little bit different. Under the clip, he left some flat, and I think he did it in a way that still looks excellent. Speaking of the clip, when you're gripping the knife and gripping the knife hard, can't even tell it's there. Can't even tell it's there. It's done extremely well. I love the positioning of the clip. I love the height, the length. It just works. It carries nice, and it's unobtrusive. You got jimping back here as well for a reverse grip. Now, not the most comfortable reverse grip because it's thin up here. I don't plan on using a knife this much like this, so I really don't care, and it's more than adequate, but not as amazing as the other one. And honestly, a Strider's probably going to be a better reverse grip because you got a thicker hand up here, thicker part of the handle up here. However, this knife is the best knife in my hand for, what's this grip called, like the hammer or something? I forget, but this grip here, this is the best knife I've ever felt for it. The way the handle is curved fits in the fingers perfectly, and this and the flipper and the choil, really great. You can see how it grabs the meat of your hand. Doesn't feel uncomfortable, but holy crap, do you feel powerful like this. No way you're letting it go, and it just feels natural. I love it. So, ergonomics are the highest grade I can give them. Let's see if I left anything out. The jimping. Jimping's good as well. Maybe not the best jimping I've ever felt, but it's definitely an A, if not an A+. You can see how, let's get a little, there you go. The jimping on the handle is almost perfectly even. It doesn't quite line up with the blade, so a lot of the traction you're getting is actually the jimping on the blade. But when you put the meat of your thumb on it, you definitely get the jimping on the handle as well, and it works excellently. Even here, if you want to put your finger up there, I mean, that just feels excellent. Feels awesome in hand. Alright, let's move on to, let's see, hold on, let me just show you the carbon fiber insert, or backspacer I should say. Come on, focus. Sorry guys. There you go. That's pretty, I like that a lot. Like that a lot. Alright, moving on. I think I covered everything with the handle. Let's go to the blade. Like I said before, 3.25 inches. Of course, I messed that up because I'm on camera. 3.25 inches, but because it's such the big belly and the upswept blade, upswept tip, it adds a lot of cutting length. This is actually more like a 3.75 inch cutting length, very similar to an Zan. I forget which one is bigger. I wouldn't be surprised if this is, but the Zan's probably maybe just a hair, but they're very, very close. The blade has obviously a flipper, which turns into a great finger guard choil. And I chose for the thumb hole, which is Strider-esque, a little more rounded, and it's chamfered just a little bit, if that's the right term. Basically, he softened these edges. Which I'm fine with. He did a good job. I think it looks nice. A bigger hole might look a little weirder, but it might make it a little more functional for flipping it out with your middle finger on the back, like that. But you can open it up 3 ways, and one of the biggest things for me of a great knife, a Hall of Fame knife, is nothing fancy to say, it has to be, a good cutter, reliable, but it's got to lock up well, and it's got to be fun to open. So I love having multiple ways to open it. Flipper, thumb stud, the flick before, and you can even put this upside down and open it up. Very cool. So it's fun to play with too. Anyway, with the blade, I said it's blasted, then tumbled. CPM 154 in my first experience, but so far, loving it. Processed a good amount of cardboard, and it was still shaving sharp after that, and it touched up extremely easily on a strap to original sharpness. Let's see what else I want to talk about. Okay, when you want to open this knife up slowly using the thumb hole, you have to at first you have to consciously get around the wide handle by the pivot. It makes for a great grip, but if you were just to go here, you're probably going to hit something like that. So you just got to be a little conscious at first, and then it works fine. A little bit of stretch for my thumb, but it still works just fine. You get used to it. Let's see, the flipper, amazing. Okay, the blade, it rides on a thrust bearing system, which I was telling you before. What is a thrust bearing system? Well, I'm going to read you exactly what Jake Hoback told me it is. By the way, he's a great guy to talk to. Over the course of this, planning this for about 25 days, maybe a month, I think we exchanged 60 emails, over 60 emails. And let me just read you what a thrust bearing is. Okay, the bearing system is an open frame roller bearing that uses 8.092-inch bearings in a self-lubrication nylon race. Fancy words for a little thrust bearing. Smiley face. Yeah, he rolls like that. But there you go. There's a technical term for how this fire is opened. Extremely well. No complaints whatsoever. Fire is great. It's hard to make it not open. You can, but it's tough. Boom. Love it, love it, love it. Now let's go the second thing that sets this knife apart from most others, besides the handle ergos, is the lockup. Let's just look at that. I said let's just look at that. Camera. That'll go. What is that, 5%? That's awesome. The geometry is excellent. It's straight across, or virtually straight across. I can't see this wearing anytime soon. And icing on top of the cake, if you can see right there, that lock bar face is carbonized. Sorry I'm shaking, I just went to the batting cages. But yeah, the lock bar face is carbonized. It is 5%, stupid early, and the geometry is excellent. I don't foresee this ever wearing out. Not in my lifetime. Not in my uses. Although it'd be a good test to have this knife till I'm like 80. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see, what else? You can see the detent ball. And I really like how he scalloped out this lock. You can see right here the lock, or the handles are flush even where the lock bar is. But because he scalloped this out a little bit, it's easy to get to and easy to disengage. Not one stick because of the carbonization. And I played with this every single day for 30 days now, since I got it in the very beginning of May. So the lockup's fantastic. The lock bar, or the lock bar scale, is actually a little thicker than the blade. Looks cool. And then let's look at the relief. What is this guy? What is this called, guys? Like the lock bar relief? Tension relief, something like that. It's a good size. It's a good size cut. It's not uber thin. There's a lot of tension on this lock bar, but it doesn't have to travel much, so it's real easy. Fires out like a champ. And look at that logo. I think that logo's beast looking. His mind was definitely in beast mode when he created this. Very cool. Look at that edge too. That's awesome. Let's get back to the blade. If you guys, I'm going to go over this real quick. I'm not going to linger on this part, but it's a flat ground blade. I found that out. Held the straight edge to it. Thanks, Jay Davis. And any other common sense person that just facepalmed themselves when I said, I don't know if it's a hollow grind. But if you do this, you can definitely feel right here it gets a little fatter. Almost like this was designed to be a spanto. Or spanto. Oh, I think it's supposed to be a spanto. But definitely gets a little chub right there. And then it thins out to a nice point. But definitely a strong tip, no doubt. Definitely a good strong tip. It's very hard to show you guys the bump. I guess you can kind of see it there. Right there. But, so that's just cool. I don't know if it was designed to be like that or it just happened, whatever. Excellent. Alright, let's see. Talking about the handle, the blade, the lockup. Let's see. Carry. let's just talk about lockup real quick. I can detect the faintest amount of up and down wiggle, 0 side-to-side wiggle. But I did speak to Jake about this, and he said give it some time. It's an early lockup. The lock bar's carbonized. It takes a while to set in. So it should get better with time, and he's absolutely true. It's absolutely right. This has gotten better since I've had it. At one point, it was locking up with no play whatsoever, but it's got the faintest amount. If I tighten down the pivot, it would be no blade play. But I haven't been able to put this down for a day to tighten the pivot down, then Loctite it, because with the pivot tightened down, it still fires open, no problem. A little more resistance. You got to put a little more pressure on it, but it still fires open, no problem. I think I talked about the clip, how you can't feel in the hand, but let's talk about how this knife carries. This is probably about a 6-ounce knife, definitely heavier than an Umnumzan, and thicker too, with a thicker blade. Let's get that to focus. But this carries fantastically. Carry this front and right pocket and inner waistband 4 or 5 o'clock. Carries excellent. When you have it in here like this, just by the nature of how it carries, let's just say it's in your pants like that. Front of your pants pocket's up here. Or now the back of your pants pocket's there. And you go to slide your hand in. You can't, it's smooth here. The flipper, you can't even feel the flipper. And because of the thinner handle, it doesn't take up a lot of space. So when it's like this and I put my hand in, I can easily grab whatever else I need in my pocket, unlike some other bigger, heavier knives that take up a lot of pocket real estate, and they pretty much just hog the entire pocket. I was also surprised when at inner waistband, this carried exceptionally well. Barely even noticed it was there. So a great carrying knife, especially. It's a great carrying knife for any knife, but considering the size and the weight of this and how thick the TI is, fantastic. I mean, excellent design. I definitely plan on getting another one of these. Not this exact model, smaller one, but another video. Let's see. There's really no hot spots. I haven't cut extensively long, but I had a long cardboard processing sesh. Not too bad. I'm going to start cutting this off, guys. 17 minutes. I need to cut it off soon. Anyway, this knife really stands on its own in my eyes. You can you can argue a Hinder is better, a Yun is better. I don't even want to entertain those ideas. Not that they're not, but this knife is just top quality. It's not going to let me down. It cuts like a champ. The way the CPM 154 is heat treated, it's more than acceptable to me. I'm not a metallurgist. I don't know steels as well as somebody like Jay Davis or Jankerson, Anderson, whatever. But this knife is fantastic. Ergonomically, it's at the top. Blade action, it's at the top. Carry-wise, it's at the top. I haven't stopped playing with this knife for the sheer fact that it's fun to play with. The lock face, the lock bar isn't going to wear in. You're not going to develop any more blade play. If anything, it's going to get better. It's easy to carry, so it's always on me. It's beastly looking, and it's a worker. I don't think I can say anything better about this knife. I mean, it's fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. I wish Jake was one of 3 brothers and they could just knock out these things. But if I missed anything, I apologize, but it's almost 20 minutes. I gotta cut this off, guys. That's the whole reason why I did the second video. But Jake Hoback A10 TI CPM 154, ergonomic dream, cuts like a champ, cool as shit. I think he's only made like 30 or so knives so far. He plans to do 200 in a year, but trying to be a full-time knife maker, and you guys should support him whenever you can. Great guy. All right, I'm cutting this off. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this. Anybody that watched this full thing, thanks so much. Leave comments. Tell me if I missed anything. If you want to see anything else, I'm gonna make another video probably doing size comparisons. All right, guys. I'll see you later. I gotta cut this off in like 20 seconds. Fuck it. Peace out. Thank you, guys.